3, 2. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fight Bros MMA show number 35. We're here on November 8th. As always, I'm Marcus Burks, and this is Albert Walters.
Hey, guys. Happy to be here.
Sorry we ain't done a podcast in a while, guys. I know it's been a little over a month or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we just been busy. COVID's kind of messed us up too. My work's got shut down and stuff, so I've tried to be cautious on that.
This is 6 feet.
Yeah.
For anybody.
So we're gonna try to get back on a more consistent schedule going forward. Also, visit the official Fight Bros podcast store. We got the gear on there at Bun-Headed Brunette, Michaela's store.
Oh, she actually has a little setup?
Nah, I'm just joking.
Oh,
yeah.
I was about to say, what?
Yeah. No, but she made this for me, so this is pretty cool for the podcast. Nah, that was funny. I was like, we got an official store on there, guys.
Dang, son. I didn't know that.
But shout out to Michaela, man. Go to her for your custom needs.
What is it? What's the business name?
Bun-Headed Brunette.
Bun-Headed Brunette.
Yeah.
And she's a legit business.
Yeah.
That's cool as shit. So, she's paying taxes.
Yeah, so go check her out for some gear, because I'll be getting some more podcast gear from her moving forward.
Yeah, I need to get her to make me a sticker.
Yeah.
So what all does she do? Dude, I feel like Rogan right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So just get started off today.
Yeah.
No, this is not. Yeah, Manscaped 2.0 or what was that line coffee or whatever, mushroom coffee that he did for a while. No, this ain't a paid advertisement. We're just that's our friend. She makes good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you get on her website, she won't have a section for Fight Bros. I thought you were serious. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that'd be cool though.
Yeah, that'd be tight.
All right, guys. So let's dive right in. Let's get into it. So Thiago Santos came back last night from a long layoff. He had been, he had some tough injuries. I believe he tore both MCLs and ACLs in that Jon Jones fight. So we haven't seen Santos since that Jon Jones fight. He comes back against a, soaring Glover Teixeira. He's never looked better at 41 years old. Glover Teixeira hasn't. And so good. Let's just get right into it. Teixeira ended up finishing Santos in the third round. Now, this was a great fight, man. It was truly a fight between two different, dimensional fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Glover Teixeira, now that's not to take nothing away from either one of these guys. Glover Teixeira used to be known as more of a wrestler. I think he's all around good now. I think he's become one of the best strikers in this light heavyweight division. But starting out the fight, Teixeira was not faring well standing up with Santos. Santos rocked him in the first round, he put Teixeira down. It looked like Teixeira was going to get finished. Teixeira went into a takedown and dominated the rest of the round. Second round, Teixeira took him down, ground and pounded, took that whole round too. Third round, though, let's see. Teixeira, I think he started out taking him down. Then Santos got back up. Santos ended up dropping him again, and it looked like it was going to get finished. And Teixeira pulled it out, man. He got him. He got his back and got him in a guillotine, and then ended up finishing him. And it was nice, man. I've become a Glover Teixeira fan. I know me and you haven't got to talk about it in a while, but I talk about Glover Teixeira to Mary pretty often. I like Glover Teixeira, man. 41 years old. These guys that are supposed to be, you're in your 40s, you're supposed to be done. Those guys got my heart, man, because I just don't believe age isn't a big deal. Maybe when you're in your, late 50s, 60s, but I believe, these guys can keep fighting in their 40s, early 50s. We see it, me and you was talking about Tyson never looks better. and he's 53.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I can't believe Tyson's fighting this month.
Yeah.
But yeah, like age, it will stop you after a certain point.
Yeah.
But
it's
it's
about
like
how
40s,
you take care of your body.
Yeah, like
40s, early 50s, I believe you're good, and that's why I love these guys that still got it at an elite level.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Then,
your Romeros, your Tysons, like you can't.
And then you look at it, and we're like pushing guys out of the UFC that are like in their mid to or late 30s, and we're like, oh, they're done.
Well, some of them are.
Some of them, but they're done because they don't have it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like they don't have it mentally. Like they're not that world eater anymore.
No. Like absolutely. It's not necessarily their body. No, like people say like the day you turn 30 and the day you turn 40, you start feeling more pains.
Yeah,
it's a mental thing, but but that won't stop you. It's your mindset that's gonna stop you. But like you said, like maybe like mid 50. Yeah.
Yeah. So Glover Teixeira's been on a roll, man. This made 5 or 6 in a row at 41. Dude finishes. They pulled it up yesterday. Dude, he's second in the light heavyweight division in most wins under Jon Jones, 15. Jon Jones has got 20. He leads the light heavyweight division and finishes ever. So he's awesome, man. So the big question is now, should Teixeira, he won this fight. He just beat Santos. Santos was number 1. I believe Teixeira was number 3. Should Teixeira get the title shot before Stylebender? Now, we have heard Dana White claim that Israel Adesanya is moving up to 205 to challenge Jan Blachowicz in this super fight at 205 for the title. Do you believe he should skip Glover Teixeira when Glover Teixeira's on this big win streak? Glover Teixeira's had to beat a lot of big names in the way. I mean, he just beat Santos and Anthony Smith. He finished both guys. Both guys were 2 tough tests for Jon Jones, the former champion. Now, given Jon Jones has already beat Teixeira, but that's been years ago. Teixeira's definitely changed his game since then. So the big question is, should Teixeira get the title shot before Stylebender? I'll get your opinion on this first.
I think he should.
Yeah.
You're in the division. You're on a 5 fight win streak.
Against the resume is ridiculous in that division.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the light heavyweight division is like the heavyweight. Like when you're fighting, you're pretty much fighting like top 10 every time.
Yeah.
But I mean quality people. So I think he should. I mean, Adesanya is a champ, but in his own division. Coming up to a new division, it's almost sickening to think that like he could get this over Teixeira, because Teixeira's like shown his worth right now. So no, I mean I think it obviously should go to Teixeira.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%, man. I believe Teixeira should get this. He said last night, he was like, Dana, I've literally, got all these guys you keep putting in front of me. I'm finishing. Jon Jones didn't even finish them. Yeah. I'm 41. I don't need to wait any longer. And that's true, man. 5 fight winning streak against these top killers in that division, and you're finishing them the way you are. I believe that he deserves the title shot mid kind of early to mid 2021. I believe he should be fighting Jan Blachowicz. I think that makes the most sense for that division. Jan Blachowicz, I know Israel's cleaned out 185, but Jan Blachowicz hasn't cleaned out 205. There's still some names in there that he hasn't, and I believe Teixeira is one of those guys, and he deserves it. And I think that would be an awesome fight, because we're looking at Jan Blachowicz, the Polish power. He's got all this power. He knocks guys out. But we seen last night Teixeira, man, he can take a hit. You can't finish him. He's like one of those Diaz brothers, man. Like they're gonna keep coming at you once they get dropped.
Yeah.
So we seen that last night out of Teixeira. So I love that fight, because is Jan Blachowicz going to let Teixeira take him down like Santos did? you look at Santos and Teixeira and you're like, man, Santos is so much stronger. No way. Teixeira he surprises a lot of guys with his strength in this division, and I want to see him get that title shot. I would love it. I would love that fight. I know it might not be fare well with the fans, so I say do a double pay-per-view main event, or do a double pay-per-view, two title fight pay-per-view. Have Jan Blachowicz and Teixeira as the co-main, and then have some bigger name guys that can sell the pay-per-view for you as the main event. Not saying these guys aren't big names, but to the casuals they're not, and I believe UFC relies on the casuals a good amount to buy some of these pay-per-views.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I want to see next in terms of that. Not to say, and this is getting on to our next thing, not to say I don't want to see Stylebender move up to 205, but I think right now there's unfinished business for Jan Blachowicz in that division. Stylebender has, finished. He's kind of cleared out that middleweight division. So this was what would make sense for Stylebender moving forward. This super fight with Jon Jones, obviously that's looming around too.
But would that, okay, so here's a question. Would that be in heavyweight?
It'd be a
lightweight. A light heavyweight?
Yeah, 205.
But it wouldn't be like a title shot.
No, obviously. And I mean, I don't... But see, that's the thing, is Stylebender knows what he's doing. If he gets to fight Jan Blachowicz and he wins the 205 title, then what's a bigger pay-per-view than, the story is Jon Jones coming back to get his title against Adesanya. You wanted to see this fight. Now a title's on the line. All this bad blood. Like, it mixes up. But I feel like the super fight still makes sense without the title. You can still do 5 rounds in this. I believe that it's good to have fights sometimes without a title. I think a title doesn't always mean that a fight means something.
Yeah.
Like, there's kind of like with Diaz and Masvidal, the BMF. You really didn't need a BMF belt. We knew that was two, tough guys fighting, and, we knew what it was going to mean for the winner at the end of that fight. Same with this. Like, we know these are two high-level guys. Like, there doesn't necessarily need to be a title on the line for us to know what is at stake and, what the winner will have received on their resume from that fight.
Yeah.
But you also have the rematch with Whittaker looming. Dana changed his mind. He said that was the fight to make. Robert Whittaker just beat Jared Cannonier. It was a pretty... Cannonier started coming back near the end. I believe Whittaker took a little bit of damage. I can't remember if he's injured or not right now, but I know Cannonier broke his arm in the fight. But after the fight, Whittaker didn't really try to make a claim to say, I should get my rematch. He is kind of nonchalant about it, and then he acted, and then the other day he was like, I might have 1 to 2 tricks up my sleeve to make the fight go different. But dude, he does not really seem confident moving forward about the Adesanya fight, and I think that's what made Dana change his mind, is you're not really acting like he dominated you the first time, and you're not kind of acting like anything's changed.
Yeah.
I honestly don't think anything would change. But Whittaker has beat these top guys to deserve a title shot.
Yeah. So, and he was a champ for a long time. But the way
he's been fighting, I just don't see, obviously he's fighting at a high level, but I don't see it transitioning to a high enough level to beat Adesanya. Because Adesanya is obviously on a different level than everybody. I mean, gosh, we seen what he did to Paulo Costa. Everybody's like, Paulo Costa's going to come forward, this and that. Dude, he finished Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
And, so I think, the fight, I think one of these two options would be better, just because I think Teixeira deserves it. But
yeah, absolutely.
So I want to see the super fight with Jones. The build up on Twitter, it's done got personal and everything. I want to see that. I think Jon is kind of upset because Israel Adesanya is the star of the UFC right now.
Yeah.
Conor's been out and everything. Stylebender's the star. I've seen a lot of casuals on Facebook and stuff. They know who Stylebender is now. Stylebender's gotten in that. He's gotten in that casual fan base now. So people know who he is.
Yeah.
And So I would like to see that. Like I said, there doesn't have to be a title on the line for that to mean something. That would do ridiculous numbers.
Yeah.
And the rematch with Whittaker, I wouldn't mind seeing that anyways. It's not gonna like blow my hat off in excitement.
No, because it's a rematch.
Yeah, but I understand there's not anything left there for Adesanya. He's cleaned out the division.
Yeah.
You know, people want to push Darren Till up to the front, but Darren Till's got to prove himself in that division, man.
Well, yeah. I think that's the best setup. Like Teixeira should get that title shot.
Yeah.
Israel maybe gets, if he gets one shot,
yeah,
dominates, wins, finishes, then a title shot. You know, like I think that's fair because you're a champ going to another division. Weight class, not division, weight class, and I don't think you should initially get a title shot. That's disrespectful to everybody else in that division.
I feel the same way. Yep.
So especially when you have Teixeiras that are crushing it. So, but moving on, we've got, I guess, kind of sad news.
Yeah, and this happened like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we just haven't done a podcast, so this can kind of be late news to some of the serious fans. But yeah, Khabib defeated Justin Gaethje about 2 weeks ago at, I can't remember the name of the pay-per-view, man. You know, we're kind of in those times where you're not even remember.
They named a pay-per-view?
Yeah, it was like 250.
Oh, you meant like a number.
I think it was 254.
I thought you meant they gave the pay-per-view a name. I was like, what? Like Armageddon?
Nah, that'd be cool. But
that'd be cool. You sound like Eric Cartman, like that'd be cool. Because
just start making that like WWE pay-per-view, Survivor Series, Hell in the Cell. But yeah, so Khabib defeated Justin Gaethje to unify the lightweight titles. Khabib looked great in this fight. He looked great, man. It was, you know, me and a lot of other people included thought Justin Gaethje was going to give him a little bit of trouble with Justin's power. And I mean, he just proves you wrong every time. He does the same thing to every guy. And I mean, I just think that just proves his greatness so much. You know, he finished Justin in the second round. There was one leg kick that I think, me watching it, I was like, dag, that looked like it hurt. But Khabib obviously didn't show that it hurt or anything. He just kept taking him down at will. And, you know, he ended up choking Justin out. Justin went to sleep. Justin tried tapping. It was weird. He was like tapping and the ref didn't see it. So then Justin just ended up going out. But Khabib had an opportunity to finish him with an armbar earlier. And this is crazy. DC got on his podcast, Daniel Cormier. He does a podcast with Ariel Helwani. And, you know, DC and Khabib are best friends. DC said that Khabib told him that he decided not to finish Justin with an armbar because Justin's parents were there. And he did not want Justin to go out with a broken limb or go out in like pain, agony in front of his parents that were cage side. So Khabib decided to choke him out because their situation on it is like, oh, if you get choked out and you go to sleep, you wake right back up, there's no damage done. Yeah. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like your blood getting cut off to your brain and you going to sleep is not good for you, but
it's not good for you, but I imagine it's less painful.
Yeah, it is less painful.
Than having your arm dislocated and broke and oof.
So I mean, we're talking about the degree of, I guess, his greatness. You're so great and you feel so comfortable about yourself in a fight that you make the decision on how you're gonna finish somebody, and
that's crazy.
And you do it, you know. I just was like, wow. Like, you know, anybody else is out there just like, I don't care how I finish him. I got whatever opportunity comes my way. Like, nah, he makes the opportunities.
Yeah.
That's it. But the sad part about this was, you know, this was his first fight without his dad. Obviously, his dad was a big proponent on his, you know, on how good he is. His dad had, you know, put this killer in him from a young age. In terms of like his wrestling background and everything, that's a lot of that's attributed to his dad. So after this fight, Khabib was very emotional. He went to the center of the ring, started crying. Obviously it's very emotional for him losing his dad because of COVID complications. He also told his mom did not want him to fight anymore. So it was weird, man. He ended up taking this fight maybe 2 months after his dad passed, and I thought it was a little early, but Khabib, man, he's just the ultimate competitor. He doesn't let stuff get in the way of his mindset.
Yeah.
And but yeah, after the fight, he was crying. He said, "There's no way I do this without my dad anymore. I told my mom this would be my last fight." Just very emotional. And if it was anybody else, you would be like, they'll be back. But with him, you're like, just the way he carries himself and stuff and how legit he is, we don't take this like, oh, Conor saying he's retiring.
Yeah.
Oh, we're like, dag, man, he's a genuine person and he walks around, he means business. So, like, we accept that retirement because, the type of person and the character he has, we just believe that he would be done.
Yeah, he's not a show guy. Mm-hmm. He's just going to go out there, do the job, and get out. So, I agree when he's saying he's done. There's you've got to take that serious.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like with McGregor, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Because he talks all the time. His mouth doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So, but that's not how it is with Khabib, and so like you said, he's very genuine.
Yes.
So he might actually be done. I know Dana was trying to talk him out of it, but I don't know. He might actually just be done.
Yeah, so Dana said that he talked on the phone with Khabib, a couple of days, and Dana and Khabib agreed that, that night was emotional and that, emotion drives a lot of decisions. So now that they've had time to sit back, Dana believes after his phone call with Khabib that Khabib is not done yet. Khabib hasn't commented on that yet. He's done cleaned out that division. The only thing that would be left, and let's get into a little bit of his dad's dream. So Khabib is 29-0 right now. Supposedly his dad's dream, and obviously, his dream too. He stated it a couple of times. So his dad's dream was for a super fight with GSP and go 30-0. Both of those could be done with the super fight with GSP. If he wins, he goes 30-0. So is that the fight to make if Khabib decides that he's got one more in him? Khabib, man, he's only, 32, 33? He's pretty at a younger age in the sport. So it's sad. It was sad to see him retire, but you completely understand, and you thank him for his greatness that he's brought to the sport. But I honestly, if Khabib is gonna come back, I only want to see the GSP fight. I don't believe there's anything really more intriguing, obviously, to business-wise and casual-wise, the Conor fight.
Yeah, I was going to say, Conor's not bad.
If Conor beats Dustin, but Khabib's, cleaned out that division, man. And,
well, yeah, he's 29-0.
Yeah, and, that's the only fight I would want to see is GSP. And I know a lot of people are like, well, GSP, we don't know if he's in his prime anymore. I think, what the GSP we saw at late 2017 against Michael Bisping, I believe he's still in his prime. And, we're crazy if we think GSP doesn't keep training. You see pictures of him all the time. He's still ripped up. He's still doing, gymnastics. He's still training with his coach. He's still helping out with fighters. He's involved in, some big name fighters training camps and stuff. I know Kevin Lee trains with him. So, a lot of guys still train with him, and he's training with, some elite guys. So I don't believe that he would be out of his prime with Khabib. The thing is, okay, so is GSP moving down to 155? He made 155 a long time ago. He did a test cut. Maybe it was a year ago. He did a test cut. He made 155. He said he just didn't. He said he made 155, but he doesn't know how he really felt. And I agree with that. So my proposal would be do it at 165.
Yeah.
163, some type of catch weight. it can lean more towards Khabib, maybe 163, something like that, 165. Just so there can't be the excuse that, oh, GSP lost too much weight to go down. But, that's what I would want to see moving forward. I believe you don't have to put a title on the line. It's just kind of given, like the BMF, like Israel versus Jon Jones. This would literally be, okay, whoever wins this fight is the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. And, that's
a hard claim.
And that is a hard claim. And that's me discrediting Jon Jones because of the PED.
Well, yeah.
And so some people still put him in the GOAT conversation with PED. I believe as soon as you get, it would have been different if he tested and then they went back and found whatever, protein or whatever he was using. But I mean, continuously failing and cheating, like, you're cheating.
Yeah.
And, so that's my problem with that.
Those PEDs taint your legacy.
Yeah.
It's hard to be like, I'm the GOAT, as you're like injecting.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, nobody can beat me. And it's like, that's fine and dandy, but put it on a level playing field. What would your record have been? You took those PEDs because you didn't feel like you were going to be able to naturally beat your opponent. So, if you go into a fight feeling like you're not going to win, you might not win. So, I can't call Jones the GOAT because of his PEDs. That ruins the argument, in my opinion. Because I don't even think you need a perfect record to be the GOAT. Like, because I think a real GOAT is someone who has the ability to be knocked down and get right back up.
Well, see, that's why people like to consider GSP the GOAT, because he avenged his losses. The times he got beat, he came back and avenged them.
Yeah,
and that's kind of, what we see. Yeah, I know this is fighting and comics are different, but, that's kind of what we see with, like, these superheroes and stuff. They come back and, avenge, what happened to them. And that's why, GSP, a lot of people view him as the GOAT.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, and I'm not saying you have to lose to be the GOAT, but I'm just saying, like, if you lose, like, if you're at the top and you lose and you get right back up and come back bigger, better, faster, stronger, then, and you can maintain that, then, like, you're just strengthening the argument for people to call you the GOAT. Because you're not even seeing that. I mean, my God, look at Woodley. He's had chance after chance since he lost his title. Look at Whittaker. We're just not getting that, like, fire out of people, even though they know they're about to lose their job if they don't, like, keep it up. So you're not getting that out of them, but we got that out of GSP. So I think for them two to fight, I don't think we'll declare GOAT, because kind of like what we were saying before the podcast, it's kind of hard to call someone a GOAT. Because
obviously, they can't. Some people can't fight each other.
Yeah, some people just can't fight each other. Like you can't have Ngannou's versus
Fedor Emelianenko, the guy that's supposed to be the heavyweight GOAT that never fought in the UFC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't do those.
You can't do those, and not to mention, like, I think some people are GOATs, but just in their own way. I think GSP is a GOAT, and also think Khabib is, but just not the same GOAT.
Yeah. So let's get into this. So we're kind of already in the GOAT debate right now.
Yeah.
But the problem with it was after Khabib won, MMA analysts and even I think Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard, which are the two other UFC decision makers other than Dana. Those three are like the big guys, and Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard and Dana. So Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard, I believe after the fight, they declared Khabib the GOAT, because he retired and stuff. And, Jon was upset with it, Jon Jones. He was, tweeting like, I know that, he's retiring and it's very emotional, but 4 title defenses compared to my 11 title defenses does not make him the GOAT. So Jon was obviously upset because of how much love the MMA community was giving Khabib. by placing him as the overall GOAT, of UFC, of mixed martial arts. My thing with it is, I think, unfortunately, Jon, the 11th title defense is awesome. Any other time he would be the clear GOAT. No static. We're not seeing static or anything. He would just be the clear GOAT. But, my problem with it is the PED use and continuous use. It's kind of different, with Romero, with the PEDs. They traced it back to what he was taking. You remember that time they had that little thing with Nate Diaz. It ended up coming back into a CBD gummy. And, they ended up finding out it wasn't even anything that helped his performance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if it was a situation like that, but I mean, Jon, he's failed the drug test too many times. It's obvious that, there was some type of cheating going on.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to even give him that credit.
So I believe that cancels him out. I don't even think. I don't know. Yeah, I still understand like people, I guess, putting him in their top fives and stuff, but I don't know. I just think that cancels him out of if you're gonna declare somebody like the overall GOAT. And I told you about it a little bit before the podcast. I don't know. I can't really declare a GOAT right now. I don't think there is one. I think UFC is still kind of working itself out. I think UFC is still fairly new. It's not like NFL. It's not like NBA. Like, it hasn't been on this type of level for, as long as those sports. So I think we're still kind of working out who a GOAT is. I believe GSP versus Khabib, if Khabib wanted that to happen. I don't believe Khabib has anything else to prove. Legacy. But that would be, like I told you, I think that would give us, obviously people's not going to declare, the GOAT based off that fight, but I think that kind of makes it a little bit clear in terms of how the fight went. If we go out there and see a GSP that does not look anything like the GSP we've seen before, then there's some gray area, but, maybe Khabib made the GSP that we all know, and, his ability and skill, maybe Khabib makes him look like he has been out of his prime. That's a thing too. But yeah, like I said, Khabib, he's did all he needed to prove in terms of his legacy. So it's going to be up to him if he wants to fight. I don't think
I agree
us
with
fans need to request him to fight again because he doesn't really have a whole lot left to prove.
No. I mean, he's just a quality person, great fighter. I think that's just if he wants to.
Yeah.
Kind of a deal. Oh. I was like, what in the world?
But yeah, moving on out of the GOAT debate. So we did talk about McGregor a little bit in there about a potential opponent for Khabib, but McGregor and Dustin Poirier. Let me just get to how this started. So a while back, Conor claimed that he wanted to do a charity event with McGregor Promotions, boxing or MMA. Dustin said, I'm in. McGregor was like, I'll give you $500,000 to your charity that Dustin has. I think it's called For the Good Fight. I think that's his charity.
Okay.
And it was kind of like, it's kind of like this kumbaya moment, I guess, that they was both agreeing, and they was real friendly about it. That was what was weird. But then UFC was like, oh, these guys want to fight, let me offer it. So UFC offered it. Dana acted like it was a deal done a couple of weeks ago. Verbally, it seems like it's the deal is done for January. Supposedly, ESPN made a pay-per-view date that wasn't on the schedule for January to have this fight. But it looks like everything's verbally done. But Dustin just tweeted a couple of days ago that he was like, the contract Dana and them sent, wasn't right. So obviously, I guess Dustin's wanting. Obviously, you're not going to get McGregor Khabib money, to beat those. You got to beat those guys to get that kind of money.
Yeah.
Like Khabib made $10 million for his fight against Justin. That's crazy. Yeah. So
that's a lot.
Yeah, a lot for UFC.
Yeah, a lot for UFC.
And
Yeah, I'd retire too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's got plenty of money to retire. But Dustin, I don't know. I think Dustin needs to seize the opportunity. He had the chance to fight Tony Ferguson on the Khabib pay-per-view, and he didn't. I think he should have took that because obviously that would have made your case a whole lot better moving forward if you beat Ferguson. So, Dustin didn't take that Ferguson fight. He said he wasn't offered enough money. Now he's kind of like holding himself out of the McGregor fight, and you're like, man,
you're ruining yourself.
Yeah, you got to take this fight against McGregor, man. McGregor did finish you not a couple of years ago, but 5 years ago or so at 145. Obviously, they're both different fighters now. So, what's your thoughts on this fight? Let's just say that it goes down.
I don't.
People wanted this to be. They wanted Khabib's lightweight title to be vacated since he's retired and have this be for the title. Dana said that's not going to happen, but I didn't understand that either because this doesn't. Like, both guys got beat by Khabib. Justin just fought for the title. I think it needs to be worked out before you just make a fight for the title.
Yeah, it's like the next two people who fight don't deserve that.
Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson. Obviously, the top 5 guys that deserve the title if Khabib's out. Tony Ferguson, McGregor, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, and Michael Chandler. Obviously, it's going to be a battle between those 5 guys. There needs to be some sort of, some sort of clearance. We need to see clearer who deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's kind of money. Like Gaethje just lost.
Yeah. I know I know Dana wants the title on McGregor because that's money.
Yeah.
Him with the title looks good for the UFC.
Well, absolutely.
But I guess I like this fight just to be like a random fight. It's always fun. It's always fun to watch McGregor fight. He's one of those guys. Him and Diaz. A lot of guys. You just like to see him fight. You don't really care who against. I didn't like the Cowboy fight.
That was stupid.
Just because I did not think the skill level was equal at all. I like this fight a little bit better. I think Dustin's got so much better since his loss to McGregor, 5 years or so ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
45. Obviously, he's not cutting that weight anymore. Dustin's boxing has looked, great. That fight with him and Dan Hooker, that was awesome, man. Dustin's still got it in him. You got beat by Khabib, but he's been, beating everybody else. So Dustin still got it, man. I don't really know what this does for either of these guys, though, if they win. Because, if they win and Khabib's still around and he's still the champion, I don't know. But, obviously, if whoever wins this fight, maybe you do Justin Tony. No, maybe not that. I don't know. It's tough, man, because Tony's still there, too. But he just got dominated by, Justin. So maybe you do Justin, Michael Chandler. And then, the winner of these 2 fights get the title shot. It's tough. But then you would be leaving Tony out. And, I feel like he deserves a chance to, fight for the title too. But I don't know. He deserves it. All of them deserve a chance to be one fight away.
Yeah, I guess that's the challenge is you have these 5 people that are all like
one fight
just
away.
right there.
Yeah. All they need to do is win.
I don't think any of them just deserve it.
Yeah.
But I think they're all like just right there. So,
now I do think McGregor wins this. I do.
Put them all in a ring and have a Royal Rumble.
Yeah. I do think McGregor wins this. I think he is. People like to look at that loss against Khabib, but he's still a very high level striker.
Yeah.
In the lightweight division, especially. Welterweight. I think it would be a little bit different once he starts facing these, elite people. If he started facing Burns and Usman, and McGregor would fare well with Masvidal. I don't know, but Masvidal was a 155er at first, so I'm talking about like the legit welterweights. Yeah. But I like this fight. I believe it's going to go in McGregor's favor. I'm not saying McGregor's going to finish him or anything, but the precision, the accuracy, the skill of McGregor's stand up. I just think he'll get the job done somehow.
Yeah. I don't really disagree with that. Yeah. I'd like to see Dustin win because McGregor's a heel, so you always just naturally want to watch that person lose. But no, I think it has the makings to be a good fight.
Yeah. So moving on. other fights on the horizon, I just wanted to get into this. There's a lot of fights on the horizon that we thought were going to happen, but they haven't been announced yet, and they've been looming around for a while out of Dana's mouth, out of these MMA analyzers' mouth. These fights have been looming around, and we're like, when are they going to be made?
Yeah.
So let's just list some, like Masvidal versus Colby or Masvidal versus Diaz. Like, these two fights were talked about. And at first we were hearing Masvidal versus Diaz 2 is close to a done deal. Ariel Helwani was breaking it and everything. Then we have Colby Covington dominate Tyron Woodley. Then Dana's like, the fight to make is Masvidal versus Colby. Okay, that's fine, but we want to see these guys fight, man. These guys are, big time. These guys are the top of the division. Masvidal, Diaz, and Colby, they're all, at the top. They're I don't want to call Colby a star, but he has a lot of attention around him.
Yeah, he's got a pretty much.
But yeah, he's definitely deserved to be in the in the discussion with these top guys of popularity and skill.
Fair, that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're wondering what's going on, man. We want to see Masvidal fight. We want to see Diaz. We want to see Colby. We want to see those guys, fight soon. So we hope. We can get some type of clarity of when these guys are going to fight heading into the new year.
Yeah.
Then we're looking at this too. Stipe versus Francis. What's going on? DC and Stipe fought a long time ago.
Yeah, man. It's been a few months.
And, Francis has been on the shelf for a while. This is ridiculous.
Poor
you have
guy.
somebody as good as him having to do one fight a year, not out of his choice. He's wanting to fight 3 or 4 times a year. So it's a sucky situation, man. I think this is being rumored to be in March. I hope that they work it out. I think that'd be great. What is that? January, February, March. So we're looking at 3 months into the new year. We could see those guys fight. So, I would love that. And then another one that, is on the horizon that we haven't heard anything about, Usman versus Burns, man. At this 170-pound division, this fight needs to happen. These two guys, their fight styles are so familiar. They just, are dominating these guys in 5-round wars. Or not really wars, but they're just dominating these guys in 5 rounds. And, we want to see who's the best between those two. Why haven't we heard anything about that lately? And then lastly, I thought Nick Diaz was supposed to return, man.
Yeah, I remember.
We haven't heard anything about that. No more rumors or anything. I see him. He's still training. I follow him on Instagram and stuff. But I'm like, dag, they just left us on a cliffhanger. They're not giving us the sequel to the movie. They just left us on a cliffhanger, and they're not giving us any information on what's going on with these fights. So I just wanted to talk about that because I just wanted to, kind of put that on notice, though. We haven't forgot about these fights, and they just haven't been talked about or discussed moving forward. So the UFC the rest of the year is pretty lackluster to end out the year. So I'm wondering when these are going to happen. And then, let's get into our last topic right here. Not nothing really extensive, but, we got Islam Makhachev versus RDA next Saturday. That's the main event. This is a big fight in that lightweight division. RDA used to be a champion in that division. He was pretty dominant as a champion, some years ago in that division. Islam Makhachev, he looks to be the guy for AKA now. American Kickboxing Academy. DC retired, Khabib retired. Yeah. I believe this is their guy now for American Kickboxing Academy.
It might be their guy, but he's lightweight, and that kind of...
Yeah, he has.
I feel like lightweight doesn't get a lot of the spotlight. It's like heavyweight, light heavyweight, and moving down the line.
Yeah, now the thing about him is he hasn't been as dominant in his fights as Khabib. He's took some losses and stuff. But definitely this is a big fight for both guys. RDA wants to, make another title run at lightweight. Islam Makhachev looking to make his name. Both guys, if they win, either guy that wins, I would look for them to get a top 8 opponent. I'm not saying top 5 because, we got a couple of things to fill out in that division.
Yeah.
If Khabib's really tired. So, both of these guys, they should get around the top 8 opponent, that 8, 7, 6, somewhere in there. Maybe even one of these guys get Tony. Who knows?
Yeah.
But, I just wanted to talk about that. What's your prediction for this fight?
I guess that's the problem. I'm just gonna have to give that one a toss up because I don't know enough about either one.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, if I'm gonna go, if I had to pick, it would be RDA.
Yeah.
But that's just only because I know him a little more than I know Makhachev.
Yeah.
But that's it. I just don't know a lot of the lightweight divisions.
Yeah, so my thing is too. I don't really know. I think this is very much a toss up. You know, are we gonna see? RDA's been pretty good on takedown defense and stuff. The only person we've really seen him dominated by is Colby Covington, which I mean we've saw Colby do that to a lot of top guys.
Yeah.
So you know, I don't know, but is Islam gonna study that tape of Colby? Has he been training with Khabib and getting better on Khabib like domination? I don't know. I'm going to go with Islam Makhachev. He's probably the underdog. I don't know.
I'm going to imagine he is, but I'm not sure.
But I'm going to go with him. But, I wouldn't be surprised if RDA won. Like you said, it's a toss-up. So if he can execute the game plan that's been done on RDA, like Colby Covington and some of these guys.
Yeah. But I guess at that point, you almost have to change your fighting style to fight like...
Yeah, well, he's not going to...
A little bit like Colby.
Yeah, he's more of like a takedown guy.
Yeah.
Colby's more of a...
Stand-up
guy. Clinch guy.
Yeah.
He likes to get you in the clinch.
Yeah, so like... That's almost MMA math.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. Like, because you do want to watch these fights and analyze where their weak points are. But I guess not to the point where you change your entire fighting style.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't see him to do that.
Yeah.
So, because being at AKA, they make a lot of wrestlers out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of takedown guys who can really hold their own on the mat.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, that kind of wraps it up for today's podcast, guys. Not really a whole lot. Like I told you, man, UFC, man, it's kind of giving us some lackluster events in and out this year, man. The next pay-per-view, it's not really appealing to me that much. You got the 125 men headlining it, and without Cody. Cody was originally supposed to fight Faraja in that fight, but not really any good pay-per-views or anything to end out. Like I was telling you, man, the Mike Tyson pay-per-view, I believe that's the way you go. I would get that pay-per-view.
If you had to get one, get that one.
Yeah, if you're going to get one before the end of the year, November or December, I would get that one before the UFC ones. Because UFC, man, it's not looking good at the end of the year.
Well, yeah.
And, we have some of these stars on the shelf right now, and that just doesn't make any sense. But
well, not to mention, I mean, watching the Mike Tyson fight, most people of our generation have never actually seen him fight live. So, like, that's historical.
Big,
Like, that's a big deal. He's not fought in, like, 15 years? I don't know.
I think
I'm going on a
2004, 2006, he had an expedition. And
when was the fight before that? Like, when was his last real fight that went on his record? Yeah. I think it's been at least 15 years. Yeah. And so most of us being that young didn't really watch him. And maybe you were in the room while, like, your uncle or cousin, dad, whatever, might have been watching.
Yeah.
But you weren't really like, yo, Mike Tyson. But now you get to it.
Yeah, we've just seen highlights and stuff, so we want to see the real thing.
Yeah, like, so it's going to be great. I think, like I said, I think historical.
Yeah, so we'll probably talk about that. Today's the 8th. Yeah, so we'll probably wait. That we got a couple of weeks before that, so we'll break that. Yeah. We'll break that pay-per-view down soon, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, thanks for listening and supporting us. Sorry it's been a while before we posted content. We hope to get on more of a little consistent basis putting out content. But yeah, now it's going to be rough going forward because there's not a whole lot to talk about moving on. But maybe we can get some good guests in here.
Not at the moment, but it goes through waves.
Yeah, maybe we can get some guests or something moving forward.
Absolutely.
I had a couple of lined up, so I'll try to get them. But
yeah. All right. Well, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, guys.